In the twilight of our lives, the decisions we make about our living arrangements hold profound consequences. Many are drawn to the idea of living near their children, an instinct that seems natural, even noble. After all, aren't our children the ones who will care for us when we are frail? Isn't proximity to family the surest way to secure emotional and physical support? While these assumptions are deeply ingrained in cultural norms, they deserve closer scrutiny. As we'll explore through the lens of Stoicism and wisdom from history's greatest philosophers, such a decision might not lead to the fulfillment you envision. In fact, it may lead to dependency, resentment, and the erosion of your inner tranquility. Let's dive into 7 key points that illustrate why this seemingly wise choice could be the biggest mistake of your life. Autonomy, the pillar of a meaningful life. Epictetus, the profound Stoic philosopher, once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This insight serves as a guiding principle for how we might approach the challenges of aging, particularly when it comes to preserving our autonomy. As we grow older, the sense of independence we've cultivated throughout our lives can become increasingly fragile. Decisions about where and how to live take on deeper significance, especially when proximity to adult children is a consideration. Living near one's children may seem like a logical choice, a source of comfort and security in later years. However, such an arrangement carries potential risks that can subtly but powerfully undermine one's sense of self. Proximity often blurs the boundaries between personal and familial lives. Over time, spoken or unspoken expectations emerge. Children may feel compelled to assist with daily tasks, provide companionship, or intervene in moments of need. While these gestures might begin as acts of love and support, they can unintentionally foster dependency. Dependency, even when mild or well-intentioned, can weigh on an individual's sense of dignity and self-worth. As Stoicism teaches, true freedom lies in the mastery of our own thoughts and actions rather than succumbing to external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius encapsulates this idea succinctly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Applying this wisdom to aging means striving to maintain as much control over one's life as possible, even in the face of growing limitations. The erosion of autonomy is not always immediate or dramatic. It often occurs gradually. A child offers to run errands, then begins managing finances, and soon takes on decision-making roles. These shifts, while practical, can leave aging parents feeling as though they are no longer authors of their own lives. This sense of disempowerment can be as psychologically damaging as any physical ailment. The challenge, then, is to strike a balance, a way to remain connected to loved ones without forfeiting independence. For some, this might mean living at a respectful distance, maintaining a physical and emotional space that allows for both connection and self-reliance. For others, it may involve clear communication about boundaries and the kind of support that feels empowering rather than overbearing. Autonomy in aging is not about rejecting help altogether. Rather, it is about ensuring that help does not come at the expense of personal agency. This requires a mindful approach, one that recognizes the interplay between love, duty, and respect for individual sovereignty. Ultimately, the goal is to age with dignity, embracing the Stoic ideal of focusing on what lies within our control. By taking deliberate steps to safeguard our independence, we honor the wisdom of philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, who remind us that true strength, at any age, comes from the mastery of self and the pursuit of freedom. The burden of expectations. Living close to your children can unintentionally create a web of expectations that entangles both parents and children, often to the detriment of all involved. Parents may assume that their children will prioritize their needs above all else, while children may feel an unspoken obligation to constantly cater to their parents. Over time, this dynamic can foster resentment on both sides, undermining the love and connection that initially motivated the arrangement. The Stoic philosopher Seneca provides timeless wisdom on the importance of boundaries and inner peace. He observed, "Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." This insight serves as a reminder that both parents and children need space, physically and emotionally, to lead their own lives without undue interference. When parents live too close to their children, their presence can inadvertently disrupt the delicate balance in their children's lives. Children may feel torn between their obligations to their parents and their own personal goals and aspirations. This internal conflict often manifests as guilt for not doing enough or frustration at having to compromise their independence. For parents, the result is frequently disappointment when their expectations for attention and care are not fully met. To avoid this cycle of guilt and disappointment, it's crucial to establish and respect clear boundaries. Living at a distance, or at least allowing emotional space, can enable both parties to nurture their individuality while maintaining a healthy, supportive relationship. By prioritizing autonomy and mutual respect, families can avoid the trap of proximity and foster connections rooted in love rather than obligation. Resentment, the silent poison. Resentment is a subtle yet corrosive force, capable of undermining even the strongest familial ties. When parents and children live in close proximity, the likelihood of misunderstandings and conflicts increases significantly. Everyday disagreements, whether over lifestyle preferences, parenting methods, or simple routines, can escalate into enduring tensions when physical closeness limits opportunities for reflection and emotional space. Aristotle's wisdom offers a valuable perspective here. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. This ideal is easier to achieve when emotional distance provides room for patience and understanding. However, living too close to family can make such intellectual discipline harder to practice. Constant exposure to each other's habits and opinions can magnify differences, turning minor irritations into persistent sources of dissatisfaction. Proximity often removes the buffer needed to manage disagreements with grace. Without time apart, small frustrations can fester, leading to resentment that sours relationships. Parents might feel unappreciated when their efforts or sacrifices aren't acknowledged, while children may feel stifled or judged by their parents' presence. This dynamic can create a cycle of unmet expectations and unspoken frustrations that gradually erodes familial harmony. To preserve strong relationships, it's essential to maintain a balance between closeness and personal space. Choosing to live apart or establishing boundaries when living nearby allows both parents and children the freedom to navigate their lives independently. This separation fosters the emotional distance necessary to approach differences with perspective and kindness, rather than allowing them to grow into resentment. By nurturing respect and autonomy, families can protect their bonds from the strain of proximity, ensuring that their connections are rooted in affection and understanding, rather than obligation or irritation. The illusion of control. Living near your children may offer the comforting illusion of control, the belief that your presence allows you to guide their lives or stay involved in their daily activities. Yet, as the Stoics emphasize, control over others is an illusion. The only true power we have is over our own mind and actions. Seneca's observation, "He who is everywhere is nowhere," speaks to the perils of overextending oneself into the lives of others. By becoming too enmeshed in your children's affairs, you risk hindering their growth and autonomy. Children need the space to make their own choices, even when those choices diverge from your values or preferences. Attempts to influence or steer them can unintentionally create resentment and conflict, undermining the very closeness you seek to preserve. This dynamic often leads to frustration for parents. Watching children make decisions that contradict long held beliefs or wishes can be difficult, especially when proximity amplifies the visibility of those choices. This frustration, if left unchecked, can manifest as judgment or criticism, driving an emotional wedge between parent and child. Rather than fostering connection, living too close can erode the mutual respect necessary for healthy relationships. Autonomy and trust flourish when both parties are free to lead their own lives without undue interference. Allowing your children the independence to navigate their path not only respects their individuality, but also strengthens your relationship by reducing the potential for conflict. The Stoic path to harmony lies in recognizing and embracing what is within your control. By focusing on your own thoughts and actions and releasing the need to direct the lives of others, you can cultivate a sense of peace and foster a relationship with your children that is rooted in respect, not overreach. Embracing solitude and self-sufficiency. Stoicism offers profound insights into the importance of solitude and self-sufficiency. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, frequently emphasized the power of inner peace. He wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This reflection underscores the idea that true contentment comes from within, not from external circumstances or the presence of others. Choosing to live independently, particularly in old age, offers the opportunity to cultivate this inner sanctuary. While physical distance from loved ones may seem to create separation, it can actually enhance personal well-being by fostering the space for self-reflection, growth, and emotional resilience. Independence allows you to shape your life on your own terms, free from undue influence or dependency. It's important to note that solitude does not equate to isolation. Solitude, in the Stoic sense, is about creating a life where your happiness is not dependent on others. You can still maintain deep, meaningful relationships with your children, but these connections can thrive without the need for constant physical proximity. Modern technology and transportation offer countless ways to stay connected, whether through video calls, texts, or occasional visits. These tools allow for emotional closeness while still preserving the autonomy and space that is essential for personal peace. Living independently in your later years doesn't mean shutting yourself off from family or loved ones. It simply means creating a life where your happiness is rooted in your own actions and thoughts, not solely in the presence of others. By embracing this Stoic perspective, you nurture your own well-being while maintaining strong, healthy relationships that are not based on proximity, but on mutual respect and understanding. Preparing for the inevitable. A common argument for living near your children in old age is the anticipation of declining health and the need for care. While this concern is entirely valid, it is essential to explore alternative options that can provide the necessary support without overburdening your children. Assisted living communities, home care services, and strong social networks can offer the care and assistance you need, allowing you to maintain your independence and dignity. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, offers a valuable perspective in this context. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Aging and its associated challenges are inevitable, but how you choose to face them is what truly determines your experience. Rather than fearing the prospect of aging or relying on your children for support, consider it an opportunity to practice resilience and adaptability. By taking proactive steps to plan for your care in advance, you can ensure that your later years are marked by peace and dignity. This might involve researching various care options, setting up legal and financial plans, and cultivating a network of trusted friends or professionals who can support you when needed. These measures not only alleviate the burden on your children, but also empower you to maintain control over your own life. Rather than waiting for a crisis to dictate your decisions, planning ahead allows you to embrace aging with a sense of agency and foresight. This approach aligns with the Stoic ideal of focusing on what is within your control and accepting what is beyond it. By preparing for the future, you create space for both you and your children to enjoy your relationship without the strain of caregiving responsibilities, fostering an environment of mutual respect and understanding. Building a legacy of freedom. The greatest gift you can give your children is not material wealth or constant presence, but the example of a life well lived. By prioritizing your own autonomy and well being, you show them the true value of self reliance, personal growth, and the importance of living according to one's own principles. This doesn't mean abandoning your children or rejecting help when it is needed, but rather maintaining a healthy balance that respects both your independence and theirs. In his writings, the Roman philosopher Cicero wisely observed, "The life given us by nature is short, but the memory of a well-spent life is eternal." This profound truth invites us to reflect on how we want to be remembered, not just by our children, but by all those whose lives we touch. Living a life that is rich in meaning, self-awareness, and purpose leaves a lasting legacy far beyond the years we spend on Earth. Living close to your children may seem like a comforting, safe choice, especially as we age. The proximity offers the illusion of security, with the promise of support and companionship in times of need. However, this choice is not always the wisest, especially if it leads to an erosion of personal autonomy or fosters unhealthy dependency. True safety and security come from within, from a life that is grounded in self-sufficiency and the ability to navigate life's challenges with resilience. By stepping back and allowing both yourself and your children the space to thrive, you cultivate an environment where each person can pursue their own journey of growth. This approach honors the individuality of both generations, fostering love and respect without the weight of obligation or unspoken expectations. It creates a legacy that is not defined by proximity or material contributions, but by the freedom to live authentically and independently. In choosing to live with balance, you impart to your children the profound lesson that a well-lived life is one that embraces both independence and connection. This legacy of love, respect, and freedom will endure far beyond any physical presence, leaving an imprint on their hearts and minds for generations to come. Final thoughts. Living close to your children in old age may appear to offer comfort and security, but it comes with hidden challenges that can gradually erode your inner peace and strain family dynamics. The Stoic philosophers, such as Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, emphasize the importance of autonomy, managing expectations, and finding contentment within ourselves. These principles, when applied thoughtfully, provide a clear framework for navigating the complexities of aging with grace and wisdom. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that true worth is not determined by how much we rely on others, but by how steadfastly we uphold our values. As we age, it becomes even more crucial to maintain a sense of self that isn't bound by external circumstances. Your independence, emotional, mental, and physical, becomes the bedrock of your dignity and peace. Choosing to live in a way that honors this autonomy, whether it means living independently or finding balance in your relationships, is a way to exemplify the wisdom that has guided humanity for centuries. In doing so, not only do you secure your own peace, but you also inspire those you love to live with the same authenticity and courage. Living according to your own principles, rather than based on obligation or dependency, becomes a powerful example for your children and loved ones. It shows them that true strength lies in the ability to live according to one's values and to embrace the aging process with resilience and self-reliance. By embracing Stoic wisdom, you can transform the challenges of aging into an opportunity to practice emotional and intellectual growth ensuring that your later years are filled with dignity, peace, and meaningful connections. What are your thoughts on aging with autonomy and the balance between family connection and independence? Share your reflections below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on living a life of wisdom and purpose.